I've posted your schedule for essay submissions. You will notice that the essays appear in chronological order on the list here, essays 1, 2, 3, 4, but we're not doing them exactly chronologically. Okay, you will be submitting essays 1 and 2 in the first half of the semester or so, and then essays 3 and 4 and the portfolio are going to be submitted at the very end, the very last day of class. Okay, so I wanted to make sure, I wanted to prevent any confusions that you may have. Okay, so essays 1 and 2 are pretty self-explanatory, and the due dates are self-explanatory. Now, you will notice on essays 3 and 4 that I require a prospectus. A prospectus basically is just a proposal. Okay, and you're going to be required to produce that proposal very early on in the semester. Okay, because essays 3 and 4 require research and are going to require a lot more time for you to complete them. So my hope is that you will concurrently work on essays 3 and 4 as soon as your prospectuses are approved. Okay, and concurrently work on that with the rest of the material in the class. Okay, and then we're going to have peer review for our essays 3 and 4 and the Reflections of Learning essay, which is part of your portfolio, the very last week of class. Okay, and you're going to be submitting those 3 projects, these 3 right here, essay number 3, essay number 4, and the final portfolio. You're going to be submitting them on the Friday after the class is over. Okay, so that's, I believe it's Friday, July 24th. So I give you an extra day to submit those. All right. But don't get confused if you see that the dates are may seem out of whack. There's a method to my madness here. Okay. What I recommend is I've added a PDF file of this schedule. What I recommend is that you print it and have it handy with you so that you can refer to it all the time. This is not the schedule of all our assignments that will appear in your modules. Okay, but at least this way you can have a reference to the due dates and the schedule of the major assignments. What you see here is worth 60% of your grade. Your essays are worth 50% of your grade. Your portfolio is worth 10% of your grade, so that's a big chunk. All right. Now, another thing that I want you to notice is that in addition to your essay grade, each essay project comes with additional assignments that will appear in the modules. Okay. For example, peer review. When you do peer review and you make a submission and you complete the peer review process, when you read somebody else's assignment, and we'll talk more about that later, you get points for that. You get assignment points for that. You get assignment points for submitting a prospectus. You get assignment points for submitting your annotated bibliographies, and so on. And also, we're going to have optional, what do you call them? Optional open workshops during our synchronous meetings. And basically, if you want to submit up to 1 page of your work in progress, share it with the class. We can workshop it together. And that's great for the writer because the writer gets immediate feedback, but it's also great for the people who are watching and giving feedback because they can get to engage and see how somebody else approaches the topic, that they're a similar topic. Okay? So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me or drop by during student hours on Thursdays from 2 to 3:30. And that is it for now.